The offseason also brought around some adjustments to your coaching staff. We talked about it last year at this time. Because of timeline, you were playing a little shorthanded coaching staff-wise last year. That's been addressed now. Talk about the additions you've made to the coaching staff.
Yeah, so I thought, turn a negative into a positive. When the interim tag was removed from my name, we were down a full-time coach on the offensive side of the ball. But I thought that gave me an interesting perspective to say, okay, do I need to go out and do I still need to be the offensive coordinator and maybe move to a skill spot and hire an offensive line coach, or do I need to hire an offensive coordinator and stay with the offensive line? And so being able to take that 30,000-foot view throughout the season and say which one matters more, along with the title of being head coach. And it just became very clear we need to coach to our area of expertise. The offensive line is what I do. But being able to, you get pulled as a head coach into so many different directions. And there's always irons in the fire. So to have the offensive machine move, even if the head coach gets pulled out, became very, very important in that decision process. That if I get pulled out, I have to go over to the AD's office or to Old Main, to the front of campus for something. The offensive staff can continue to move. Okay, their offensive line coach has a decent idea of what's going on around here. So that was important. So we brought Kyle Orzansky back in, and having somebody that had a familiarity with how we do things, all the way back to the way we worked when Troy Rothenbuehler and I worked here together, and then Kyle and I worked here together for a number of years. He understands the culture. He understands what Findlay football is about. And so that was seamless, but he also got to cut his teeth for a few years out at Shippensburg calling offense as the offensive coordinator at Shippensburg University in the PSAC. And then we lost Isaiah Dunning in the offseason. And, ID did an unbelievable job here, but his alma mater called him home. He is a west side of Michigan, Grand Rapids native. He and his wife were just getting ready to have their first. She's from the west side of Michigan, and the place that he put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears called and said, hey, we'd like you to coach our Charges. How can you say no to that? And it was hard for him. And he came in, he said, Coach, I don't want to go. I love it here. But we went out after Isaiah took off. We wished him well and, cleaned out the office, and we found, Cody Cole as an outstanding replacement. And Cody has come in and really, the thing that I would say about what Cody has done is he made it his own. And he didn't try to be someone he's not. You have to fit obviously into a system, into the culture of the team and into the system on defense. But he came in and was authentic right from the very beginning, and that won over those guys immediately.
Let's take a look at this year's schedule. A couple of interesting characteristics about it. First off, road heavy early on. 4 of the first 6 are on the road, including 3 straight. That's certainly going to be a challenge for your guys.
It is, and that's not necessarily a challenge that we anticipated, but it's one we're going to embrace. That's scheduling is a unique thing. I think it has its challenges at all levels, but that is the way that it fell for us right now. We're certainly excited about our non-conference schedule to open up at home. First time we've opened up at home since 2016. When we played Saginaw Valley here in a night game. So we have Truman State coming here, and then we're taking that road trip out to Pace. And I think you like getting out of your own region every now and again. I think it's a great collegiate experience for our guys. We have an outstanding trip planned. We're going to practice at East Stroudsburg University, about an hour and 20 minutes away from where Pace is located. Stay there and then make the drive in on Saturday. Excited about that.
The other thing that jumps out is the way the schedule ends. You're at home with ODU, then you go to Ashland before coming back home at Tiffin. You like that 2 of those 3 are at home, but you're talking about going up against the 1-2 teams in that process, and then another good team in those final 3.
Yeah, I think if you look at the conference since we joined it in 17, and this is to your point, again, excluding the spring season, which by default now Tiffin won, but if you look at the fall seasons, every single year since 2017, there's been a different champion, and that's so. There's a precedent set as to who are the top heavy teams in this league right now. Can that change any day? Absolutely. Teams can rise and teams can fall, but based on past history, it is certainly a backloaded conference schedule.
Let's talk about your players a little bit, Coach. I know that's your favorite topic. Let's start with the running back room. Kind of jumps off the page. Garrett Clark decided to return. Brian Benson is back. Jaden Farmer, and I know you got some others in there. That's an impressive running back room.
Yeah, I think Brian Benson was a freshman when Coach Strom was here. All jokes aside, those 3 guys were the tailbacks when we played in 21 and we're fortunate enough to win the league, and they're all still here. That's a formidable backfield. That's a physical backfield, and that's the thing. I'd prefer to talk about those three guys as a group because they all have the things about them that are unique. But the bottom line is all three of them run behind their pads. They're team guys. They understand what the job description is and they embrace it. And so, the toughest thing is going to be how to rotate those guys and how to make sure that everyone's getting enough carries because they're weapons.